What's going on, guys? So even though I moved into my new place and I was trying to figure out my studio space, I do think my original videos where I just had a moving background in the back just made my videos feel a lot more homey and natural. So if you guys enjoy this setup more than like the yellow wall and desk that I had before, please let me know down in the comments below. But the other thing that we need to mention is our sponsor for today. Nobody. So if you didn't know, Apple actually has products being released this week. They're not doing a formal event where they have a keynote and stuff. They just have things that are being released daily this week. If you aren't aware, the iMac was announced yesterday. I'd say most people that are considering the iMac are, I would say, probably more on the business side if you want an all-in-one solution, or if you're a consumer who wants like a desktop but still wants an all-in-one solution but really geared towards Apple that comes with a magic keyboard and magic mouse. Go ahead, get the iMac. But what we want to talk about and focus on today is the Mac Mini, because I actually use the Mac Mini. I've been using this for, I think, a year and a half, and it has a new design after well over 10 years at this point. So let's talk about the new Mac Mini. I don't have any of the notes memorized. I have it here on my smartphone. So let's go ahead and talk about the Mac Mini. So like I said before, there has been a redesign. So it's not this huge, even though I wouldn't even say this is huge, but it's not as big as this anymore. It's 5 by 5, so I would say it's about half the overall length and width of this, but it's 2 inches taller, so it's about double the height of this, but it's an overall smaller device and lighter. So instead of it being about like 3 pounds, it's about 1.5 pounds. If you get the M4 Pro model, almost 2 pounds. So that's nice that we're getting a nice redesign. I don't know why I put it back there because I'm going to talk about this next, but the front I/O on the new Mac Mini has 2 USB-C ports. They are USB-C Gen 3, so it only supports up to 10 gigabits. But regardless, I don't know why the Mac Mini never had front I/O, but I'm glad that it's finally here. So now I want to move over to talking about the chips, because the chips are pretty important, and I'm not talking about poker chips or potato chips. I'm talking about the M chips. So we skipped M3 overall. We are now on the 4th generation coming up on the new Mac Mini. We have 2 more efficiency cores than the previous generation. So we now have 10 cores overall, 4 performance cores, 6 efficiency cores. It also does have a AV1 decoder, which is amazing. I'll get into that in a second. We have higher memory bandwidth as well, and it starts at 16 gigabytes of memory instead of 8 gigabytes of memory. Don't know why, it's always been that way. And the price, thankfully, is exactly the same at $600. So good on you, Apple, for doing that. But I am upset about something which I'll get into in a second after I talk about the M4 Pro. So the M4 Pro has 2 more performance cores, hence the Pro model. So we have 14 cores overall, 10 performance cores, 4 efficiency cores. So if you want to do more work, if you want more horsepower or more performance, you got to get the Pro variant of the chip. Apologize if the mic is going that way. Regardless, the memory has also been increased on the base. It starts at 24 gigabytes of memory, higher memory bandwidth overall, and we still get that AV1 decoder. I forgot to mention on the base variant and the Pro model, we do have hardware acceleration, GPU acceleration for ray tracing, I should say. This in particular, not this one, the new Mac Mini. Sorry, let me get this out the way. The new Mac Mini has Thunderbolt 5, which I was not expecting at all. Supports up to DisplayPort 2.1. I know they released the M4 on the iPad Pro earlier this year, but I was kind of confused on why, but I guess they were waiting on trying to figure out for Thunderbolt 5 being on the Mac Mini and possibly the MacBooks as well. The storage is still the same at 256 gigabytes of storage. And on top of that, it's $200 extra every time you double the storage. So 200 if you want to go to 512. 200 if you want to go to a terabyte, 200 if you want to go to 2 terabytes, all the way up to 8 terabytes. Once you double that, 2, 4, 8, right? You still get the optional 10 gigabit port for an extra $100. So I think on a device this small, especially on the base M4 variant for $600, getting 10 gigabit is amazing on a device like that, which I will get into in a second. And then finally, I think I already said this, but the HDMI is 2.1, so that's also nice. But yeah, the storage, I would say, is just, hurts the soul. So I would say overall, the Mac Mini is a product that I think goes under Apple's radar a lot. They don't do a lot of marketing for this product, but if you already have like a decent display, a mouse and keyboard, and you primarily stay at your desk, I would say just get the Mac Mini. And then if you want to do more lighter stuff, just get a MacBook Air. I think that is like the ultimate combo between the MacBook Air and the Mac Mini. I forgot to mention that it also supports Apple Intelligence, but if you have an M1 Air like I do, you have Apple Intelligence as well. I don't really notice a difference between the two. This is an M2 Pro variant. When it comes to M4, I don't know if it's going to be any faster or if there's going to be more features related to it in the future. My guess would be that's true. The last thing that I want to touch on is I know a lot of people are going to compare the new Mac Mini to like the Chinese mini PCs that are coming out, like B-Link and stuff like that. And even though those are very comparable, especially when it comes to the AMD chips and the Intel chips to some degree, the processor that Apple provides is just more power efficient. And when it comes to transcoding and encoding, what Apple has, I would say, matches or excels Intel QuickSync. So if you tend to use the Mac Mini for like Plex, Jellyfin, or any type of media streaming service, the Mac Mini is going to be able to do that with no problem, lower wattage, and is going to be able to support way more streams as well simultaneously. So I'd say that's something else that I think a lot of people like to overlook. Yes, the mini PCs on the consumer side, the Intel AMD side, are good. You can use Linux and stuff like that. I would just say what Apple gives you, especially being tied into the Apple ecosystem, if you already have like an iPhone, iPad, stuff like that, it's really hard to beat that price point at $400, because if you are doing like some type of like media service and stuff like that, you probably have a NAS or you're just going to mount the drive. So 256 probably won't even matter that much to you. With an AV1 decoder as well, you can probably just take all your existing files and just encode them in AV1. So you have more storage getting back to you, and you're still retaining majority of the quality. But if you have an NAS, it probably doesn't even matter at that point. But regardless, I'm pretty excited about the Mac Mini. I'm going to get it. I will do a direct comparison in terms of the overall design and specs with my M2 Pro Mac Mini, and excited for the MacBooks that are going to be coming out later this week, and the Mac Studio with the Ultra chip as well. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments below if you're excited about the Mac Mini, and if you like this setup that I have, or if you wanted me to go back to like sitting at the desk at yellow walls like every other YouTuber. Anyway, appreciate every single sub, like, and comment, guys. And as always, much love. I don't know why I'm saluting you. I didn't do military, but hey. The new Mac Mini supports Thunderbolt 4. The new Mac Mini supports Thunderbolt 5, and the price starts at $1,400. And the